Hi, welcome back to Infinite Lifetime Sutra. I'm Angelina, your host. Today we are going to continue. Probably today is going to be a short episode. Okay, we'll continue. Last episode we were talking about the heavenly beings. They will call to our Lord Gautama Buddha. Okay, or maybe our Lord Maitreya. Okay, from to descend to our world from the heavenly worlds to teach and to become a Buddha. Okay, because the time is right. And then the Lord Gautama Buddha would actually just survey, and then after that said, oh yeah, it's time, so he will ascend. Okay, so he descend to our world to teach us the Buddha Dhamma. Okay, so now we continue to another part of it. Okay, 破烦恼成，坏诸欲迁，洗濯垢物，顯明清白. Okay, so this one is okay for today. So 破烦恼 破烦恼 What are the 烦恼 Okay, 破烦恼成 Eliminating 破 eliminate to break. Okay, 破 is in Chinese, it means to break the 烦恼. What are the worries that we have? Okay, 烦恼 is a worry. What kind of worries do we have? It's not about a worry about financial or whatever, not that kind of worry, but it is about the greed, hatred, and anger. 贪嗔痴 Tan is greed, chen is hatred, 痴 ignorance. Okay, to break these three that are roots to hell. Okay, to break these three, it means that to be able to see exactly, very clearly what they are, so that you will not be treating them, or you will not be indulged in them and following them and being pulled by the nose by them. Okay, it is about being able to see from a very clear perspective what exactly are they. What is this greed? What is this anger about? What is this ignorance? Why am I ignorant? And finding ways to be able to get a solution for that. How you're going to do that? The action plan that you have to do. Like if we were to talk about how work is right now, right? But this is exactly what it is. Okay, 破烦恼城 Cheng is town. Okay, so all these, the three roots of hell, the greed, the anger, hatred, and also the ignorance, they are just like a walled city. Okay, very strong. They have built a very strong foundation within us, like a city that is impenetrable. Because we have gone through so many lifetimes. Okay, today is not the only lifetime, and in the past there have been aeons of lifetimes. Okay, our world is not new. Okay, in fact, if we were to talk about the actual sense of it, when was our first ignorance that threw us into what we are today, threw us into the condition that we are today? Where were we before this, right? Before this, we were all just the infinite light. And because of one ignorance, we asked a stupid question, and then kaboom, everything just came into being. And all the suffering that we have to go through, we have to go through birth, we have to go through the pain of birth, going into that kind of thing, like being born, you know, from a confined space, and it start growing, and then you're being pushed out of the womb, and then after that you were being like, have to grow up, have to go to school, have to go to work, and then to suffer like being bullied by your bosses, being you know all kinds of things that you have to go through, all this pain, all this suffering. Okay, and then not only that, you get disease, you get flu, you get cough, you get like now the famous very popular influenza, or maybe even you can get accidents and whatnot, diseases. And then of course you have to go through death, and then death after death, and then you don't, before you can even realize it, you'll get reborn into something else. Okay, so all this pain is all because of that single ignorance. Okay, so it is for to come and share with us how to the Buddha Dharma to get rid of all this ignorance, of all these things that are withholding us from achieving the infinite, from achieving the greatness. Okay, so 破烦恼尘 and then 坏住于前怀 okay, 坏住于前 it is like, yeah, you will cultivating, okay, that heart, that thought, the right understanding, and to be able to go into the right practices so that you can get rid of this greed, this anger, and this ignorance, layer by layer, all these layers being caused by all the things that we have learned throughout all the existences. Okay, so it is something that not only on the external, it has to come from within. Okay, it has to come from within. You have to discard it layer after layer until you get to the very core, your Buddha within. Okay, the entire 49 years of teachings of the Buddha is actually to get us back into that Buddha within so that we can become a Buddha ourselves. Right, but we can't do that through education. I'm in education, I mean the kind of education that we go to school, okay, in our modern life. We can't do that through technology. Technology cannot help you peel off your layers of greed. Okay, technology cannot help you become more respectful to others. Technology may be able to um, make you more aware of your surroundings, but it does not make you do what you have no desire to do. Okay, at least even if it makes you do something that you are supposed to do, but it does not make you do willingly if you're not willing to. Okay, if let's say when we're talking about one of the most important aspects of learning is about respect. Okay, for example, when we talk about respect, in the past there is a lot of respect. Okay, in the past people are afraid of teachers. There are parents and there are teachers. People are afraid of teachers. Teaching is a highly regarded profession, and even the parents, they are respectful to teachers. They bring their children to the school, and then they will just go meet the teacher very respectfully. They will need to sell their child to the teacher to accept as a student. Okay, not, I don't mean literal selling. I'm talking about presenting the child as, my child is very obedient, my child is in need of education, my child is very respectful, my child is a fast learner, blah 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 blah. They have to sell all these things, the qualities about the child, and then only the teacher will consider whether he wants to accept or he wants to decline the child's admission into his school. But nowadays it's not like that. When people look at the school, especially for international schools, the first thing they look at, oh, this is my school fees. If you can pay, I will admit you. If you cannot pay, then I won't admit you. And if there is any disciplinary situations in school, we will ask the parents in. And if really indeed the student causes so much disruption, then we will kick the student out of the school, right? But oftentimes we can see that in some instances, if let's say the rich parent is one of the board of directors of the school, then the child can, like what they show on TV, it can do anything, right? Even back, you don't need to go to the part about the directors in school. You just need to look at the teacher's own child. Okay, very often sometimes we see that the teacher's child will become a pet to all the teachers in school. Okay, the other teachers will take good care of this child. You will see the child being taken in as the prefect of the school, will be taken in as the a leader in one of those extracurricular activities in school, while other students may actually be taking a back seat because priority is given to this student who is a child of the teacher in the school. So this is what can happen in our society, right? But in the eyes of karma, there is equality, right? You can do whatever, but it doesn't work that way. Okay, you can be the richest person in this world and you will not be given privileges. You will, if when the time comes, okay, the richest man or the poorest man on earth will still need to go through death itself. And at death's door, everyone will be presented with a mirror that will show the good and the bad. And your two guardians that you're born with, one recording the good and one recording the bad of your actions, speech, and your thoughts. Okay, they will put both books on the scale and to see which side it tipped to. Okay, if in your books tip to the good side, that means you can go through incarnation into another birth. Can be a higher birth, can be a lower birth. Okay, but if let's say it tipped towards the bad, then you'll be punished in hell. Okay, this is what will happen regardless of who you are, regardless of your religion, regardless of whether you're the richest man or you're the poorest man or you're a middle income man or you're in a whatever. Okay, everybody will need to go through that weighing of that invisible machine that no supercomputers in this world can emulate. Okay, so since that is how it is, so a lot of people you can denounce. Okay, some people say I'm a free thinker, so this doesn't apply to me, or I'm not in religion, so it doesn't apply to me. It doesn't work that way. Okay, karma works equal. All these things we're talking about is about karma. It's not about which religion you're in. It does not matter which religion you're in. Okay, the way that it works is still the same, right? Regardless of which one. It is just that the difference is just that, like in different countries, okay, you have a different jurisdictional, you have a different set of judges, but in all, everyone faces the same thing, whether you believe it or not, whether you are in the religion or not. Okay, everyone is the same. And in fact, if you were to say that you're a free thinker, okay, without a religion, then is if it can be when you categorize yourself as a free thinker, you're already in a religion. Okay, you are upheld by a set of principles, just that you call yourself free thinkers. You don't have somebody which you call the god. Okay, by that is even better. You're just solely ruled by your karma. So why aren't you believing in karma, right? So the entire thing is about our own ignorance. Okay, so the Buddha comes down to dispel our ignorance, dispelling our ignorance, dispelling our greed, dispelling our anger. Okay, there's so much work to be done, but so little time. But for some people, one lifetime, 80 years, if you're living in hardship, it is already a lot of pain. If you're living in hardship, but still, people hang on to life, right? Even if they live to 80 years old, people want to live up to 100. And if they live up to 100, they try to make people live up to 120. Okay, science is trying all kinds of ways to prolong the lifespan of people, including that of the use of stem cells. Okay, genetically recreating the organs to replace, if let's say somebody has a liver failure, kidney failure, lung failure, whatever failure, they try to use stem cells technology to create a new lung, a new something to do a transplant. But one thing you have to know, even if you have created something new, the person will still die at the end of the lifespan. Okay, your heart will just stop beating. Even if you have changed heart, your heart will just stop beating. Okay, your breathing will stop. Okay, you can't just replace everything and think that the person will continue breathing, because if you're meant to die, then you're meant to die. Okay, you have no choice. You cannot suspend your death. Okay, you cannot try to have longevity. I know it's very, very enticing to think about longevity. Otherwise, you won't see so many, all those uprising, um, mythology, the fairy tales, the dramas. We're talking about people who are maybe non-humans beings who can live up to maybe like 900 years, 1000 over years, and becoming supernatural beings with a lot of supernatural powers. They can fly, they can teleport, they can suddenly just, out of nowhere have a weapon on the hand. It can be really attractive. Okay, in fact, it can actually be done if, let's say, you know how to practice. But the thing is, in our science today, it doesn't work that way. In fact, all those mythology and stuff like this, actually, it can be done. Okay, if you have strong enough, intense concentration, intense focus, it can be done. It's just that because we are restricted by our minds and our practices, every day we are moving and working on our external, but we are not working on our internal. Okay, if you work on your internal, there are chances that you'll be able to achieve that as well. But because we are toiling every day, to make ends meet, going out to work and then coming back from work, and then even some coming back from work, they continue working, and that's why there is this thing about the work-life balance. Okay, so all these things happen just because of our own ignorance. And the Buddha Dharma, the karma, are the ones that will actually be guiding you. You can lead that fulfilling life, you can earn that kind of money, and then you'll be able to still live with that kind of lifestyle, okay, without any interruptions, big interruptions in life, okay. But that is only if you were to practice. Okay, practice as in like mine is the simplest practice. Mine is just following the Amitabha, chant Amitabha all the time. Okay, anytime when I'm free, when I'm walking, I chant Amitabha. When I'm eating and I'm not talking, I chant Amitabha. When I'm not in the company of people and I'm not doing my work, I'll just chant Amitabha. Okay, there's so many things that can be done to practice, and it's just a matter of whether we want to practice it or not. Okay, so when we're talking about this part, okay, uh 清白, okay, that very last word, 清白, that is going deep into ourselves, deep into us. The entire objective is to go back into the Buddha within us, that infinite inside us. If you really want to live long, you want longevity, you go back into the Buddha within. Okay, not something without. You can't get longevity by eating supplements. You can't get longevity by doing liver transplants, organ transplants. You can't do that. Okay? It is all about how you're going to go back to your, inner being, that very core inside you, that Buddha within. Okay, so if there is any questions, okay, if there is any question, you can always leave the question inside the comment box. Okay, so maybe we can still continue a little bit. Okay, 调众生宣妙理，助功德是福田，依助法药，就疗三苦。Okay, let's look at this. 调众生宣妙理. Okay, 调 is adjustment, adjust by teaching. 众生 is beings. 宣妙理 is to broadcast. Okay, 宣扬 is to broadcast, is to make popular. Okay, 妙理 is not just about the Dhamma, it is actually about the entire universal truth of everything. Why are you here? Why am I here? why are we in this world and not in any other worlds? Why are there so many other galaxies in this world? Why this and why that? Okay, why do we have pen? Why do we have education? Why do we have all this technology? Why do we have everything? Okay, why do we need to live? Why do we need to experience birth? Why do we need to get disease? Why do we need to experience maturity, old age? Why is there time? Why is there space? Why is there so many other things? So it is about the universal truth. Okay, the moment that you get closer to your Buddha within, the easier it is for you to realize the truth. The easier it is for you to understand the universal truth about the entire galaxies, about the entire universes. Okay, all the reasons, like that very core. Why are we here? Why am I here? Who am I? Okay, the very core. It will be known when you get closer and closer to becoming the Buddha. Okay, 助功德，玄妙理助功德。So that means accumulation. Okay, you gather. Okay, as you understand the truth of the universe, the things that you do are no longer going to be governed by greed, anger, and ignorance. It will be guided by compassion. It will be guided by wisdom. It will be guided by plain knowledge. Let's say that you won't feel greedy about things. Okay, you won't think about, oh, because normal beings, you will think about, I wish I can have $1 million. I wish I'm a millionaire, and today millionaire is not. I wish I'm a multi-millionaire. I wish I'm a billionaire. I wish I'm a trillionaire. So much desire, but so much desire, and yet how much food can you eat in a day? How much space do you need at any one time? How big is the house that you needed? How many houses that you needed? Okay, how much money can you spend anyway? Right? So it is about that. Okay, and then when the Buddha teaches us about all these things, okay, about the elimination of our greed, our anger, hatred, our ignorance, and to be able to discipline ourselves with the 5 precepts. Okay, to be able to have the focus, the mindfulness, and then to grow the wisdom, right? All these things is to get far away from all the delusions that we have of this life. What are the delusions? The delusions about the entire life itself, the delusions about the luxuries, delusions about what the universe is about. Okay, science have a lot of delusions. Science have delusions about, oh, calling this event a big bang, calling this thing a black hole, calling this as a planet, calling that as a star, calling that as a comet, calling that as space, calling that as, labeling that as this universe, that galaxy, our system, Milky Way, and it consists of how many planets with one sun and one moon. And then when we look at other galaxies, oh, there are 2 suns, and then don't know how many moons. All these things, they are so delusional. Okay, and then to also dispel us from our 执着、分别 distinguish, because we humans like to distinguish. Okay, we distinguish between the good and the bad, the right and the wrong, the tall and the short, the rich and the poor, the educated and the non-educated. We distinguish people that way, but at the end of the day, all of us are born without clothes, and all of us will die and be buried alone. Okay, some of us return to ashes, we'll say that. So we distinguish a lot. We distinguish the high and the low. That comes the bureaucracy. That comes the the blue tapes of even a company. Okay, approval system from a junior to a senior to a manager to a higher manager, or even to the senior directors, and to the VPs, and to the CEO, COO, whatever you call that. Okay, there are too many hierarchies when actually all of us are the same, right? Fundamentally all the same. 执着, holding on adamantly to something, holding on adamantly. Like some people, they will hold adamantly like I have a master's. Okay, I have a PhD. I have this. I have that. I have money. I'm rich enough to just squash you with my little finger. Try that. Okay, so they are adamant. They're holding on to things that actually don't really matter. Some people, they will like, you can feed them, and then they still have that kind of adamant saying that this food is not good, that food is good, that food is better, and whatever not. Okay, but as I've said in a previous episode, if let's say your karma is good, if let's say you are a learned person, your mindset and everything is good, then even though even a glass of plain water will taste good to you compared if you pass it on to the another person who has not so good karma. Okay, so you have to understand that. Okay, 执着啊，精进努力，累积功德，宇宙众生修福的道理和方法。Okay, so our Lord Buddha is teaching us the ways for us to accumulate our good karma, our merits. Okay, we don't when he got his enlightenment under the Bodhi tree through the middle path, and he shared with us the middle path. That is exactly what he is trying to tell us. Do you need extraordinary food? You don't. Okay, do you need to eat so much food? You don't. Do you need so much money? You don't. Okay, in our modern life as a lay disciple, what do we need? We need to have enough money for food, for clothing, for accommodation. Okay, just these three. Okay, or okay, like you're talking about, to be able to do that you need a job, and then because of you need a job, you need a car to move around for the mobility. Okay, you can have all that. Okay, the basics, and then some savings for some rainy days and whatnot. But the biggest investment is actually in charity. Okay, you give to charity. I've spoken this many times before. Okay, the best way to accumulate wealth is to give away wealth, and give it wisely, give it to charity. Charity is a form where you share your money, okay, to a mass of people, to a great lot of people. Okay, when you share to the great lot of people, and you are helping them get what they need, so when you need it, you have spread your good karma around, and it comes back to you. The universe does not help you if you have never invested in the universe before. Okay, some people, if you were to look at the modern um, modern motivation gurus, self-improvement gurus, they're talking about this term called emotional bank. Okay, how do you build the emotional bank? You build it by culturing the relationship you have with another person. Okay, the goodwill. So the first thing is that probably you share. Okay, you give gifts, you just show a sincerity and whatever, and then you start to have this goodwill with each other. You are sincere with each other, you don't cheat, you don't lie, you don't scam the other person. Okay, so you build that kind of thing, the emotional bank. Same concept. Okay, how do you build your wealth? It is by giving out to charity. In your past life, if you have given enough charity, then you are reborn in a richer family. Okay, and then when you continue to keep giving out your wealth, okay, as charity to other people, okay, then it comes back to you as well. Okay, things just come back to you. Okay, you won't be forsaken. That is for sure. Okay, so when it happens that way, then you can be sure that you don't need to worry where your next meal will be coming from if you have always been giving to people. Okay, feeding those who need to be fed, like giving to orphanage, giving to old folks home. Okay, you give the money, you give food to them, you give medications to them, you give things to them. Okay, so there will be abundance because you put in your abundance into the universe. You don't need to worry. So this is how it is, and then you don't spend it on yourself, not extravagantly. Okay, you don't need so much. Yes, you probably think that, oh, nowadays people are looking, branded, then you will be somebody, then only they will treat you better. If you are wearing just very simple clothes and whatever, some bosses, they just look down on you and think that his work can be of worthy of promotion, but you just look, he doesn't have the style, he doesn't have that kind of grace, he does not have that kind of charisma. Charisma doesn't need to be expensive. Style and grace does not need to be expensive, unless you're in front of a people who are very shallow. Okay, in front of very shallow people, then you need to dress all kinds of things branded. But if you are among those who are really, really wise, okay, I won't say intelligent, it's not even about cleverness of the mind, I will say it's about wisdom. If you're in front of people who are wise, you can dress so simple, unbranded, even if you wear something from the night market, no brand, nothing. The wise will know you, okay, and that is how you are recognized. It's not because you wear branded. Some people, when you look at some of the videos now, right, by the influencers, they see that they are actually wearing like clothes that are my clothes is 20,000, my handbag is 50,000, my shoes is 45,000. Well, I don't know what currency lah. Okay, but you get my point. Okay, it does not matter what you wear, right? It does not matter how much is that thing, as long as, if let's say the price that you pay, the quality is good, the thing can last. If you take good care of it, the thing can last. But not, you know so make it something like so flimsy, and the clothes material is so thin, and then so easily out of trend and things like this. Just get something that can last for years, right? People will not, actually, people won't be bothered. People won't really want to judge you unless they are that shallow. Okay, so you just have to know how to keep, okay, how to protect your own karma, so that you will not be over in anything. Keep that kind of moderation. Okay, be moderate. You don't need to starve. I'm not asking you to starve, but you don't need to every single meal eat like you are what, some kind of royalty. Okay, you eat to fill your stomach, you wear to cover your body. Okay, you don't spend thousands and thousands to wear clothes that are not covering your body. Okay, so you only need a shelter. You don't need a kind of grand big house where you some houses are so big. I was asking my boyfriend that day, why do they need such big houses? It's like you can be in one room, and then you won't be able to know where to find the other person in another room, because the house is so big, you don't know where each other is. Why do you need such a big space, right? You don't. Actually, you don't. You just need a big enough space. Okay, I'm not asking you to go into one tiny space and then get yourself also constrained. Not that also. You just get something that is moderate, something that is just enough. Okay, with a kitchen, with a living area where you can just relax, with a bedroom where you can sleep. Okay, or maybe with bathroom facilities and everything. That is enough. Okay, you don't need something so grand, so big, several stories, like 2 3 stories, and at the end of the day only 2 people living in it, or maybe 3 people, right? You don't need all those things. Just keep it moderate. Okay, so 33 minutes. Okay, this episode, I promise it to be a short one, because then you can be able to focus more. All right, so until we meet again for the next episode, okay, we shall continue in the next episode. Meanwhile, take good care, Chan Amitabha. All right, so I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Amitabha.